Hi, and welcome to Learn with Sawgrass. I'm Rhonda, the Education Manager here at Sawgrass, and our goal is to provide you both live and pre-recorded content right here in the Learn with Sawgrass playlist in our Sawgrass Academy on YouTube. So look for us in YouTube and the Sawgrass Academy for everything that we feel will help you succeed with Sawgrass. We talk about our printers, we talk about our inks, we teach a lot about our software, and hopefully along the way we're giving you some inspiration and some tips to help your business succeed as well. So please join us, keep an eye on that playlist, Learn with Sawgrass, check out our quick tips as well, and all that other content just to help make sure that you have everything you need to succeed with Sawgrass. So today we are going to dive into the actual printer. No computer, no press, no projects. I'm going to teach you something on your printer that I think is very important. And it's important for a couple of reasons. First of all, what I'm going to show you are going to be some adjustments that are going to help you make sure that your printer is performing up to its best, performing optimally. But the other reason I like to go through these is because I know that sometimes we're just clicking around and you assume that since it prints out, it must be something that's super helpful. These are not your first steps. So if you are having lines in your prints, if you're having what we're calling banding, if you're having color issues, this is not where you start. But these are definitely steps that can help you. So hopefully today I'm going to explain these to you. I'm going to walk you through how to do them, and I'm hopefully going to demystify why you need to do them as well. So today we're going to talk about the paper feed adjustment, the print head alignment adjustment, and then also the registration adjustment. Now again, all of these are things you can do to help optimize the performance of your printer, but they typically aren't going to be the first place that you start. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so for this, what you're going to need is you're going to need your printer, and then you're going to load some copy paper in that main tray of the printer. Now it does need to be 8.5 by 11. It does need to be in the main tray of the printer, but you don't need sublimation transfer paper or your VersaFlex light paper for this. It can just be regular paper that you're going to use to print these adjustments. Okay, so this first one we're going to talk about is the paper feed adjustment. You're going to do this if you are seeing that there is some alignment issues in your lines that go horizontally. You also may be seeing horizontal lines at a regular interval in your print. So this is typically when we're going to do this adjustment. It's actually going to help align how the paper feeds through the printer. Okay, so here's what you need to do that paper feed adjustment. We're going to hit menu. We are going to go down about 3 menus to the printer features. We are going to go to list test print. And then we are going to arrow down past the head cleans and the head flushes, and we want to do that adjust paper feed. And we want to print the test pattern, and we will go ahead and hit print, and that will come out. Okay, so it's going to print that paper for us. And we are going to look for the one that has the straightest lines. Okay, so as we look at this, you're going to notice that in some of these, the lines are not connected. There is a disconnect in the middle. You're also going to see that some of these middle lines are a lot closer together, or maybe they're not properly adjusted. Now, Rhodes and I looked at this, and we feel that -2 is probably the closest as far as being straight lines on both sides and then even spacing in the middle as well. So we're going to go down to adjustment. We are going to change this to -2. We don't want to do +2. We want to do -2. And then we're going to hit OK. All right. So there's a couple of things you can do here. my first choice is going to be to go ahead and redo that print. Are you still getting lines, or is that fixed? If that's not fixed, you can do this a couple of more times just to make sure that you're getting that exactly right and dialing it in exactly, so you could continue to do this. I wouldn't do it more than 2 more times. But if you do it 2 more times and you're still having the issues, this is when you're going to reach out to the care team. But otherwise, you're done and you can resume printing. So this next one is the print head position adjustment. Now this is going to be used if you're seeing vertical lines. You also may be seeing like lines that are specifically evenly spaced out across your design. You also may be seeing fuzzy designs, because this is all about the print head itself and how it's aligned. So this is one where you may be seeing fuzzy designs, you may be seeing lines as well, and that's when we're going to do this particular adjustment. Okay, so let's go ahead and print that print head adjustment page. So I'm going to go to my printer features. I'm going to go to my list test print, and then I'm just going to go down. It's going to be basically on that 3rd page. I'm going to do that head position adjustment. And the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to print that. Now there are 3 here because there are different speeds at which you can print. So you do want to do this adjustment for all 3, even though the one you're doing most of the time is high quality. So we're going to go ahead and hit print. That's going to come out. Okay, so this one is going to be slightly different. One of the things I love about it is it gives you the instructions. So what we're looking for is the lines that are straightest and the colors that are the faintest, because if it's darker, that means that the lines are probably a little too close together. Okay, so as I'm looking at this, I'm going to pick one from line A, line B, and line C. Looks to me like it's -1, +1, and then back to -1 again. Let's go ahead and enter in those values. Now it closed. That's not going to matter. I'm just going to go right back to where I was. Back to that head position adjustment, and now I'm going to put in the adjustment. So for my high speed, A is going to be -1. B, I'm going to toggle over to B, is going to be +1. Oops, +1. And then C, I'll use my arrows to go to C and hit OK again. And again, this is going to be a -1. And once that's done, I'm going to hit OK. And then I'll just hit exit. So once I've done that, I'm just going to exit out by hitting menu. And then I'm going to go right back in to the next one. So my list test print, I'm going to go down to page 3, back to my head position. Now I'm going to print my pattern, and I'm going to do standard. I'm going to hit print and let that come out. Okay. So that is how this one looks. Okay, so as I'm looking at this, it's 0 for the first line, -1 for the second line, and then this one's very, very close, but I'm going to go with 0. It looks like the lines are the most lined up and it's the lightest. So we are going to go back out. I'm going to go down to my printer features, my list test print, go to that 3rd page. And now I'm going to hit adjustment. I'm going to go to standard. And now we're just going to go to A. And that is 0. We're going to go to B and do a -1. And then we'll leave the third one there at 0 as well. I'll just check it so you can see that it's at 0. And now we'll hit exit. Okay, so back out, and we have one more to do. So we're going to go down one more time through our buttons. And this is the one, like I said, that you use the absolute most. So we're going to go to high quality and hit print. Okay, so here we go. Now looking at this, 0 and +1 are slightly off. -1 is going to be my best option. We're going to go back in, go back to that third page. Okay, and now we want to do the adjustment. We're going to go to high quality, and we're going to tell it for a -1. All right, that should be it. Now, just remember, do a test print, see if this has resolved the issue. If it doesn't, you can do this another couple of times. I would say no more than 3. At that point, if you're still having the same issues, this is a great time to reach out to our care team at care.sawgrassinc.com. Okay, so this final one is what we call the registration adjustment. This one's kind of special because really, other than checking some things in the printer, this is really the only thing you can do for this particular issue. And that's going to be about alignment. So this usually happens if your paper is going in crooked and basically your designs are skewed. So the image on the paper is either closer to one side than the other, or it's crooked on the paper. My favorite word is cattywampus, so it is cattywampus on your paper. Skewed works well too. And that's where we're going to do this particular adjustment. Okay, so let's look at the registration. Now this one's going to be a little different. And if you didn't heed my advice and you left your sublimation transfer paper in the printer, now is the time where the copy paper really becomes important, because it's just a little bit thinner and it's going to be a little bit easier to see. Don't ask me how I know that. All right, so we're going to go down to registration. Now I'm going to print my test pattern. You can do this on both trays. So if your paper is coming out skewed from your option tray, you choose tray 2. If it's coming out from tray 1, you choose tray 1. And we'll go ahead and hit print. Okay, so I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to fold it in half. We call this hamburger style. So it's going to be across the short edge. And I want to make sure this is nice and lined up. And the reason is because I want this line to be right in the middle. Okay, so one of the things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to either hold this up to the light, or you're going to want to use a flashlight. Now what I have found is the easiest is to flip it over and see what is behind this. Now when we're looking at this, that line is perfectly lined up, so we're not going to make any adjustment. But let me show you what this looks like, just so you can see. Go to that third page, go down to registration, and I'm going to go to adjustment, tray 1, and for that first value, I don't need to move it at all. That's going to be perfect, so I'm going to hit OK. Now, Now, once I've done that, I'm going to hit OK because I don't need to adjust that. Okay, so once you've done that, you're going to fold it hot dog style, and you're going to look to see if this line is aligned. Looking at mine, it is completely lined up, and I'm going to leave it at 0. But let's talk about how you know how much to adjust it. There are little lines in here. So if it was off a +2, you would do a +2. If it was off a -1, you would do a -1, and so forth and so on. And that's how you do those registration adjustments. Once you've put in that first number, you hit OK, and then you do that second one. So you're just doing this to make sure that everything is lined up and working perfect. Okay, so that's it. Very simple, very easy. We've walked through all 3 of those adjustments with you. Hopefully you've learned when to do them and how to do them so that you can always make sure that you're doing what you need to do to make sure your printer's printing optimally. Now, use this in conjunction with our video on printer maintenance. That's going to be another very handy one for you when things are not printing correctly. And in all of these situations, if you get to the end of the steps and you're still having issues, this is when you're going to reach out to us at care.sawgrassinc.com, and our team will be glad to work with you to resolve the problems that you're having.